Centuries before engines, steel hulls, and satellite navigation transformed ocean travel, medieval sailors ventured across vast and unpredictable seas in fragile wooden ships powered only by wind and human skill. A long sea voyage during the Middle Ages was not simply travel, it was survival against nature itself. Every journey carried the risk of hunger, disease, storms, piracy, and shipwreck. Yet despite these dangers, sailors repeatedly crossed oceans and seas, connecting distant cultures and building the foundations of global trade. Their survival depended on preparation, teamwork, experience, and remarkable endurance. Medieval ships were impressive for their time, but crude by modern standards. Vessels such as Viking longships, merchant cogs, and later caravels were built from thick wooden planks fastened together and sealed with tar or animal fibers to reduce leaks. Even so, water constantly seeped through hull seams. Sailors regularly bailed water out using buckets or pumps to keep ships afloat. Maintenance was never-ending. Ropes frayed, sails tore, and storms strained every part of the ship. Crews spent hours repairing damage, tightening rigging, and reinforcing weak points. If repairs failed in open waters, survival chances dropped rapidly. Food was one of the greatest challenges on long voyages. With no refrigeration, sailors depended on preserved supplies that could survive months at sea. Salted pork or beef, dried fish, hard bread called ship's biscuit, beans, peas, and cheese formed the core diet. Fresh food was eaten quickly before spoiling, but once gone, meals became repetitive and unpleasant. Ship's biscuit often became infested with insects or worms, yet sailors still ate it because alternatives were scarce. Hunger forced men to ignore taste and focus only on survival. Water storage presented another constant worry. Drinking water was kept in wooden barrels that easily became contaminated or stale. After weeks at sea, water developed foul odors and tastes. To avoid sickness, sailors often drank beer or diluted wine instead, which stayed safer longer than water. Strict rationing ensured supplies lasted the voyage. Running out of drinkable liquid at sea could be deadly, so captains carefully calculated how much could be consumed daily. Disease spread easily aboard crowded ships. Crews lived in close quarters with poor sanitation. Rats and insects thrived, spreading infections. Scurvy, caused by lack of fresh fruits and vegetables, weakened sailors over time, leading to swollen gums, fatigue, and eventually death. Medical knowledge was limited, and many ships carried no trained doctor. Minor injuries could become fatal infections. Sailors relied on herbal remedies, alcohol for cleaning wounds, and sheer luck to recover from sickness. Living conditions were harsh and uncomfortable. There were no comfortable cabins for ordinary sailors. Most slept wherever space allowed, on deck, near cargo, or under simple coverings. During storms, sleep became impossible as ships pitched violently and waves crashed across decks. Everything stayed wet for days, clothing never fully dried, and cold winds chilled exhausted sailors. Fatigue was constant, yet work continued day and night. Storms were perhaps the greatest threat sailors faced. Without modern forecasting, storms often struck suddenly. Massive waves battered ships, snapping masts and tearing sails. Crew members scrambled to lower sails, secure cargo, and prevent flooding. Some tied themselves to ropes to avoid being swept into the sea. Ships sometimes survived only by throwing cargo overboard to lighten weight. Many vessels simply disappeared in storms, leaving no survivors to tell their stories. Navigation required skill and experience. Sailors used compasses, stars, coastal landmarks, and primitive charts. Cloudy weather could hide stars for days, making it difficult to determine direction. Mistakes could lead ships far off course or into dangerous waters. Experienced navigators were highly valued because their knowledge improved survival chances. Still, many voyages relied as much on luck as skill. Human threats also endangered survival. Pirates and enemy ships targeted merchant vessels carrying valuable goods. Crews often armed themselves and prepared to fight if attacked. Battles at sea were brutal, involving boarding actions and close combat. Capture could lead to slavery or imprisonment. Sailors constantly watched the horizon for suspicious vessels, especially in known pirate waters. Mental endurance mattered as much as physical strength. Weeks or months passed with nothing but endless ocean visible. Boredom mixed with fear, and morale could decline quickly. Superstitions flourished. Sailors believed certain actions or words brought bad luck, and many carried charms for protection. Religious faith offered comfort, with crews praying before dangerous passages and thanking God after surviving storms. Daily routines kept ships functioning smoothly. Crews worked in rotating watches, so someone was always steering, adjusting sails, or watching for danger. Discipline was strict, as disorder during emergencies could doom everyone. Officers enforced rules, sometimes harshly, but order was essential for survival. Fishing sometimes improved diets during voyages. Sailors used lines or nets to catch fish, providing fresh food and boosting morale. Ships occasionally stopped at ports or islands to repair damage and restock supplies. Such stops were crucial for survival, allowing crews to obtain fresh water and food. Fire was another hidden danger. Wooden ships filled with tarred ropes and cloth sails burned easily. Cooking fires were carefully controlled, and crews remained cautious with flames. An uncontrolled fire at sea often meant total loss of the vessel. Work never truly stopped aboard ship. Sailors climbed rigging to adjust sails, repaired ropes, cleaned decks, and monitored cargo. Storm damage required immediate repair, often in dangerous conditions high above decks. Falls from rigging could be fatal, yet sailors performed these tasks daily. Cold climates posed additional dangers. Northern voyages exposed sailors to freezing winds and icy rain. Wet clothing offered little protection, leading to hypothermia and frostbite. Crews tried insulating clothing with grease or extra layers, but exposure remained a constant threat. Despite hardships, moments of beauty sometimes broke monotony. Dolphins swimming beside ships, glowing plankton illuminating night waves, or distant islands appearing on the horizon lifted spirits. Such sights reminded sailors why the sea fascinated humanity, despite its dangers. Long voyages also brought encounters with foreign cultures. Merchant sailors visiting distant ports experienced new foods, languages, and customs. Trade connected distant regions, and peaceful relations with port cities often determined survival success. Shipwreck survival presented another nightmare. If a vessel struck rocks or capsized, sailors struggled in heavy clothing that dragged them underwater. Lifeboats were rare, and many sailors could not swim. Survivors clung to debris or tried reaching shore, sometimes facing hostile environments after escaping the sea. Knowledge passed from experienced sailors to newcomers played a vital survival role. Veterans taught knot tying, storm procedures, and navigation basics. Survival skills spread through generations of seafarers, creating traditions essential for safe voyages. Ships also risked running aground near unknown coasts. Without precise charts, vessels could strike hidden sandbars or rocks. Lookouts watched for color changes in water indicating shallow areas, while navigators measured depth using weighted ropes. Mistakes could destroy ships instantly. Periods of calm winds presented unexpected danger. Ships became trapped without movement, consuming supplies while drifting helplessly. Food and water dwindled, and anxiety grew as sailors prayed for wind to return. Such delays could turn successful voyages into survival struggles. Camaraderie helped sailors endure hardships. Shared danger forged strong bonds among crews. Songs, storytelling, and humor helped pass time and relieve stress. Cooperation was essential. Selfish actions endangered everyone aboard. Leadership played a crucial role. Skilled captains maintained discipline while caring for crew welfare. Poor leadership often resulted in confusion during crises, leading to disaster. A trusted captain inspired confidence even during terrifying storms. When ships finally reached port after long voyages, relief overwhelmed exhausted crews. Fresh food, solid ground, and safety felt miraculous after months at sea. Sailors returned thinner and weathered, but carried stories of storms survived and dangers overcome. Not all voyages ended happily. Many ships vanished without explanation, swallowed by storms or accidents. Families ashore sometimes never learned the fate of loved ones lost at sea. The ocean guarded its secrets, yet sailors kept sailing. Sea travel connected continents, spread ideas, and built economies. Without medieval sailors' courage, global history would look very different. Their survival skills helped create trade networks that shaped the modern world. Number 3, the suggesting reviving long medieval sea voyages required preparation, teamwork, resilience, and luck. Sailors battled hunger, disease, storms, and fear while trusting fragile wooden ships to carry them across unknown waters. Looking back today, it is astonishing how much these sailors endured with limited tools and knowledge. Their courage kept maritime trade alive and connected distant cultures. And perhaps that is why medieval sailors continue to fascinate us. They sailed into uncertainty, guided only by wind, stars, and hope, proving that human survival often depends not on comfort, but on courage in the face of the unknown.